that's a step in the right direction.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We are on week 44, episode 44 of Jed Z Reviews. Wow. Luke and I, it's a real pleasure to be back on episode 44 talking about An American Werewolf in London. We have heard a lot of great things about this. This was both of ours very first time checking it out. And we definitely have some interesting things to say, everybody. We got some interesting things to say. Positive, highs and lows as it goes. It's pretty great. It's not just us tonight. We have a great panel as always, joined by an awesome panel of talent who have a lot of mixed thoughts themselves. We always like to have a diverse panel of thought, right? And experiences. We have some first timers. We have seasoned fans. So this should be pretty interesting. One thing I got to say, though, about this movie that I was disappointed by was there was way too much stuff we had to skip, Luke. We were fast forwarding a lot. So if you're going to be seeing this, just realize you're going to be doing a lot of fast forwarding.
10 minutes worth,
way more of that sexual content than anybody would like. So you're going to have to get through that. But other than that, we have a lot of interesting content to talk about. We're going to break down the movie into chapters and just have a lively discussion. So we appreciate you, as always, for joining us today. But yeah, let's introduce our panel. Our friends, pretty much everybody's the same here. Nobody new. We got our friend Sin, Megan the Texan,
hey.
Cam the Movie Man, and World War Joe. How's it going, people?
Good.
Pretty good.
It's called art, not nudity.
Yeah, right. You are not classified.
That shower scene took so long.
Yeah,
So
it
you
was the
sat
typical
through the whole
PG-13.
thing. I didn't sit through that.
It's
You know too
art.
well, Joe.
I'm covering my son's eyes the whole time. Like, no, buddy.
Then you can't cover your eyes, though. You're using your hands. Oh, what's up with that? Interesting. Oh gosh, yeah. But thank you all for joining us tonight. It's we have two ladies in the panel today. This is new. Usually it's just one. Just one. We got two. Man, we're going crazy tonight. That's good. Well, what's everybody's initial thoughts on the movie? Just first reactions. Has anyone who saw this for the first time? Okay, so I know.
Wow, come on.
It's just us.
Raise your hand,
I thought
Jackson.
everybody else. Okay, it's just us. Okay,
I've seen this a few times.
It's my second time.
okay. Oh, this is your
Second time,
second
too.
It's like my
Okay.
second I want to say it's my third time, but I honestly don't remember what I think was the first time. Might not have really been because maybe I saw it a long time before.
Sure,
and,
yeah.
So I've seen
I
it
feel
at
like those
least 2 or
don't
3
count.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, cool. Well, Luke, why don't you get us started? What are your reactions, just emotionally, real quick? Don't get into the content. How did you feel about the movie? Seeing it very first time, fresh. We just watched it together.
It was a classic. I mean, I feel like I'd have a much different reaction if it were Halloween, if it were the Halloween season, because
Yeah, sure. You're in
it's
the
just a feel good Halloween movie. It's one of the classics, and to get in the mood for it. But I don't know. It's one of those classic films where it's fun to watch, but it's kind of, you're not cringing, but it's a little too like we said, we skipped through it was only an hour and 37, so we skipped through maybe 15% of it, and I looked it up, and it's actually it was funny because it was actually such a horror comedy, so it was fun to watch. I mean, there was some funny parts to it, some hidden jokes in there, and I enjoyed it.
I think expectations wise, I didn't know what to think going into this. I had no expectation. We've been hearing so many great things about this, and of course, you have the iconic werewolf transformation scene with those practical effects. We'll get into that later, of course. That's what everyone remembers about this, right? When you talk about An American Werewolf in London, that's the first topic in conversation. So we'll get into that later. Which awesome. You can't deny that. Totally awesome. Makes you dive for more practical effects, of course. For me, seeing this, I definitely enjoyed a lot of the creativity. My gosh, this was tonal whiplash, and I think in a good way. Though I think you could really screw that up, being all over the place with the tone. But I think this one did it in such a way to make you feel the madness of the main character and what he was feeling. Yeah. So I think it was accurate. It felt real. It was authentic. It wasn't like trying too hard to push that on you. It just felt fluent. Definitely, my gosh, I'm always wary. I just don't want to watch. Sid and I, we've talked about this. We got grilled last time. I don't want to get into it much, but get the sex crap out of here. We don't need it in these movies. Way too much of it in here. If you would have gotten rid of that, I'd give this a much higher score. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of fun, and it definitely had Beetlejuice vibes, got serious Beetlejuice vibes from this.
Yeah,
It seems like I was thinking of The Fly a lot too, because I've only seen The Fly once. Boy, was there a lot of fast forwarding through that one as well. Way more than this. Like that's like 60% of the film, for Pete's sakes. You know,
It's a
denying all
little
that,
hyperbolic to say that. It's
Oh
not
yeah. Oh
that
come
much.
on. Yes, it was.
I recently
remember.
rewatched it. It's not 60%.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
But there is. I get what you're saying, but it could, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
give Jackson more PG.
That's right. PG. Let's stick to Brother Bear, Elmo, G. Yeah.
Oh my
definitely.
gosh! Please no.
But
TBY.
no, definitely fun though. And I think you know what it's just full of shock and awe. I was really surprised. You can't really predict what's going to happen in here, especially we'll get into it. But I think the biggest shock for me watching this was seeing what happened to Jack, like right off the bat. Were you guys surprised by that?
I expected it, honestly.
Oh come on!
No, I mean, you got like the two main characters. You got to lose one of them. Not both.
Yeah, but he didn't help him. That was my biggest problem. It's like my best friend
Ran
is
off.
getting mauled by a werewolf, and I'm just gonna run away. No.
Yeah, well, then he went back. It was just that initial
Eventually.
fright. But I think what was interesting about the lead up to that was them going inside that bar and you thinking that maybe the danger was going to come from these very strange people in the bar, because they were just like very odd and looking at them weird and saying cryptic things to them and just making them feel generally uncomfortable. And then you find out, no, that they're not the problem at all. It's not that pentagram or whatever. That wasn't what was going to hurt him. It was what was out in the morgues.
Yeah, it didn't have like anything to do with them. That was a surprise.
Yeah.
Wait, can you remember the first time you watched this, Sen? Did you say you said it was a long time ago, right?
It was a long time ago, and my most vivid memory of what I think was the first time seeing it, I'm thinking to myself, it can't be because I'm sure I saw it before then, but I feel like my brain is saying 2010, but I think I saw it a long time before then. But it's a classic. A lot of people really love it. Some people are like, some of my favorite vampire. Listen to me. I just got done talking about Dracula. So my brain's werewolf movie. It's not my favorite werewolf movie. There are others that I like quite a bit more than this one. I don't know if it's just I can't buy into the main character. I don't think he got the screen presence to carry it off for me. And I didn't
fair.
buy the "I love you" automatically sort of thing with him and the nurse, and some stuff was just like just things that bother me. Like no one can hear him screaming like he's being murdered while he's being transformed in this building because it's like an apartment place. There's other people around. The comedy, I remember the first time I saw it, or the first time I think I saw it, I was a little surprised by the comedy because I didn't expect it to be that comedic with his interactions with Jack.
Yeah. What's the Sam Raimi films? The Evil Dead movies.
Yeah,
Like,
those
they kinda-
ones. Yeah.
I only saw Army
Yeah.
of Darkness, but I thought, like, did Sam Raimi do this? Because it really seemed like it was his
feels a
cup of
little-
tea.
Yeah, I
Feels
felt
a
that way
little-
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I thought
about
they
you,
were so
Megan?
stupid though. They walked right off the road, you guys. I could see them when they did it. It wasn't, you know what I mean? It's like
Were they told
were
to stay on the road?
they were
They were.
told to stay on the
Okay.
road and avoid the moors, and then you see them just walk right. It's like, what the hell are you?
First of all, we're Americans, honey. Okay, no Brits are gonna tell us what to do. Okay,
That's
Okay,
right.
keep all that
Sorry,
shit
Megan.
together.
I interrupted. Go ahead. Carry on.
No, you're good. I think the first time I saw it was maybe like 2019 with Kyle. And yeah, I definitely felt the horror comedy-esque, which didn't take me by surprise because I did feel like it was a lot of Evil Dead references, at least for me. Like it really felt like an Evil Dead movie. But it was good. Just the two lead characters, the two guys, they looked very similar. Just one was taller than the other. So I was really worried. I'm like, okay, red jacket, green jacket, and then eventually there's just one. So you
Red
really
Jacket
can't mix-
looked like Robert Downey Jr.
Really?
Oh yeah,
You're
he
tripping.
looked
I
like
was.
Robert
I
I,
didn't see
I
that.
thought
I
the
can't
same
see
thing.
that.
Stan.
Yep.
Thank
and
you.
so did my husband when I was
like a
watching
young
it last
RDJ.
night.
Yes.
Yeah, he was like, he looks like. I'm like, yeah, he does. And
Oh,
he didn't have to
I'm
say his
so
name.
glad you think the same. Ooh.
A
See, I
less
remember-
attractive version of young Robert Downey Jr.
Ooh, young RDJ was very handsome.
Yeah.
Very
Drugs.
handsome. I was. Did you say pre-drugs?
Yeah,
Come on, man.
pre-drug era.
We don't need that in here. Not in this house.
PG.
Yeah, that's right. I was what was I gonna say? I remember that actor. I think the actor's name's David something. Khrushchev, maybe David Khrushchev, the guy who plays
forget
the
his
character
name.
named David as well. The main guy, Red Jacket. I recognize him from Seinfeld, one of the very, I think it was maybe the first or second season. He is kind of interested in Elaine, and he has like a lot of drama with
David
Jerry.
Naughton.
Yeah. Oh, Naughton.
Name.
Okay. Yeah. So that I couldn't stop thinking about him. Now I see the connection, and I'm like, all right, I'll remember you for next time. But yeah, let's say hello to the chat real quick. I see. Oh, Nads is upset. Oh boy. She's waiting. All right, you'll see. We have good things to say too, good and bad. We're realistic here. We're honest. We could bullshit you and say anything else, but we're telling it how it is, especially from a Gen Z perspective, which nobody really wants to hear. But if you're watching this, you seem to care enough, so we appreciate that. Finally, we're being heard. Then our friend Mega Spidey Man dropped 2. Oh gosh, this again. 2 euros or pounds.
Yeah, euros.
He corrected me once. Euros. 2 euros. He's asking us our favorite Landis film and why. So Landis, I saw he did Coming to America. He did Blues Brothers.
He also did the Thriller music video. Yeah.
Oh
wow.
Oh,
that's niche.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with his stuff. I don't know. I haven't seen any of those. I only watched a little bit of Blues Brothers, so I don't know what to tell you.
Really?
I guess it's this because it's the only title I'm actually familiar
Blues
with.
Brothers is great.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll remember that, Cam. Maybe we'll talk about it in the future. Very good. Anybody else, real quick, favorite Landis films?
I'm trying to remind myself of
No.
what.
Blues
He
Brothers.
also
If it's
did
Blues
the
Brothers,
Twilight Zone movie
Okay.
where that terrible death happened during filming.
Oh, yikes.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
It was really bad. Like it decapitated
Oof.
Star and killed the 2 kids he was carrying. I think killed the 2 kids.
I've heard of that.
That was Landis' film. Mm-hmm.
Man.
Was that with the helicopter?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow,
You can.
that's
There's
sad.
videos of it. Yeah.
Yeah. A moment.
That's what I. But see, that's what I think about when I think of John
Yeah, yeah.
Landis because that's and also Thriller. So
No, like I was saying, that's his vibe. Yeah.
That's an interesting association. You remember him from that. Like, I wouldn't know anybody
That's-
attached to a music video. But, I mean, that is a classic one, Thriller,
Well,
right? I mean,
that-
that's the one.
Yeah, that was my introduction to Michael Jackson in math class.
Mhm.
Teacher pulling in a TV to show us the video, and I grew up without a TV, and so watching it scared the shit out of me because he turned
Man.
into a werewolf. But I also thought he was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. So, but then I attached Landis's name to it, and then the Twilight Zone stuff. I don't know that I've seen a lot of his movies, you guys.
Oh, man. Well,
neither.
sorry, Mega. Bad
Yeah.
news for you. I wish we could answer. Catch us in next year, and maybe we could answer it better. Our friend Melvin Deeply, he's here, and he dropped 2. Oh, great. Here's another currency. Is this pounds?
Wait,
That's
This
euro.
one's
Or, those
pounds.
are pounds, I believe. So,
Okay,
yeah.
those are 2 pounds. Thanks, Melvin. Beware the moon and hippies. Beware hippies. Yes, always beware the hippies. They freaky. They freaky as hell. This movie, I mean, the nurse, is she a hippie? Nah, she ain't a hippie.
Nah.
She
No.
freaky though. She's super freaky though.
she's just easy.
Yeah. I was really surprised by that. Like, I did not take her for. I told Luke, I'm like,
Yeah,
she
you
doesn't
said
look
he-
like an easy person. And then it's like the
Yeah.
first time, he's out of the house and this is happening. It's like, I don't think so. But that's the story.
It was
I
very
think that's
quick.
like, real quick before we get into the story itself. Well, we're talking about the nurse and him. Did you guys think that was forced, their romance and their chemistry? Did that actually work?
100% it was forced. That dude walked in there, had a scar on his face, and she just instantly went for it. Sitting on his lap, feeding him and
Yeah.
everything like that. It was just way too fast.
Maybe
Yeah,
it was
that
the
pacing-
American accent.
Ooh,
maybe, I don't
Could
know.
be.
Yes, it's so tempting.
Yeah, that pacing
Mhm.
was hilarious.
I
Like,
don't-
she brought him home like after a day of meeting him. I mean,
Oh
that was-
my
and she's a nurse. I
gosh.
mean, that was hilarious.
Well, I don't know. She'd been taking care of him probably for those 3 weeks that he was out.
Mhm.
Right? Yeah.
So I
Unconscious.
get and I don't know how long he was awake before he was released. I don't remember if they specify exactly how many days that is. So she's known him for a bit, but I agree it did feel like it was a bit fast, especially when they
almost-
started professing love for each other. And
Yeah,
all that.
love. I'm like, no, you don't love him.
can't.
He doesn't love you. Are you kidding me? You've known each other 2 days, 3
Well,
days. I mean, this movie takes
maybe
place.
he's-
It's 3 days, really.
Maybe he said, "Hey, baby, I fought off a werewolf."
Yeah.
Nice.
I
works.
think he was
That's
in
not
a
him
coma.
going.
I think he was
Oh,
in a coma because
gosh.
he had all these dreams.
Well, he had the dreams while he was like conscious, though.
Yeah. When he was
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We don't know.
did?
He
Oh,
was
yeah.
just lights out. We didn't see any of his story for those
Oh,
first
okay.
3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, he was just
Oh.
out, which is crazy to think somebody can even be out like that. 3 weeks, and then you wake up and it's like, wow,
Sedatives.
what just happened? That's crazy. But here, let's get into the story right off the bat. In case, viewer, if you aren't familiar with the story, it's definitely an interesting one. Not what you'd expect. I think the comedy, like you said, Sin, like who saw the comedy side of this? I felt like, later we're going to talk about, what this film really is. Is it a dark comedy or is it a horror? What's the base? I think it's more of a dark comedy than anything else. But yeah, I think we have some interesting discussion I heard from everybody behind the scenes. But yeah, if you're not familiar with the film, we follow these two young American backpackers, David and Jack, and they're on a trip. They're trekking across the quiet English countryside when on a tense night of the moors, while they're walking around, they approach this strange slaughtered lamb saloon. They go on in and they have a disgruntled conversation with the people there. They are not wanted, clearly. They're sent out onto the streets, and there's something going on in this town. So as they're wandering out, as you mentioned earlier, they trek off the path, and a werewolf comes out of nowhere, mauls Jack alive, and we see David. He gets attacked again. The werewolf is killed, and 3 weeks later, he ends up back in a London, I almost said prison, hospital, where he is under the care of Nurse Price, where while this time here, he is slowly evolving into a werewolf himself. So definitely an interesting premise. I think this is, I've not seen too many werewolf films. And I think, Sin, you made a good point. I think like they set us up with a great, like, a scary moment in that saloon where, they set a tone of this unease, right? Of this unease, this ear of, there's something really strange going on here. And there's nowhere else in the movie like this. This town is really kind of one of its own. And there's a lot of problems there. And I'm excited to talk about that because I think for me watching this, once we get past the first, I don't know, maybe 30% of the movie, I don't lose interest, but it just goes off on a tangent that I didn't really get into. But this introduction was really strong. I really enjoyed the first steps of the story. Yep. And when we open up here, of course, when they enter the saloon, it's a very strange moment. They, these guys are exhausted. They've been on their feet all day and they're starving. They need to settle somewhere for the night. And they enter the saloon and everybody acts really strange around them. It's like, Luke, you mentioned it while we were watching the movie, how you've had a similar situation where you walked in a place and everyone stopped what they were doing.
It was the weirdest thing. It was for no
Really?
reason.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it was the weirdest, most uncomfortable feeling, just like these guys. I was walking.
Could you tell that real quick?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing really. I forget where I was. I was on vacation. I walked into this TGI Fridays, and everybody just looked back for like 5 seconds, and it's the weirdest thing. I was like, "What?" I looked down. I'm like, "I'm not, I'm not. You're not from around here, are you?" That's the vibes I got. So I was like, "All right." So I just sat down, and it was kind of just weird. Yeah. I don't know what was. I still to this day don't know what went down. Like,
I went. Weird. So that kind of reminds me. I was in Chicago for the Star Wars celebration back in 2019, where there was a little bit of hope left in Star Wars, and I went to this little restaurant, and I was in kind of the hood of Chicago, staying there in this motel, and my pops and I were there, and we went to this restaurant, and it was all African American people. And we were the only white guys that walked in. And it was a similar moment where it's like, what are these guys doing here? But man, that was the best cooking I've had in my life. I wish I could go back. It was awesome. So yeah, we feel this to some extent, but this is much more eerie what's going on with them.
Yeah,
these guys,
like a cult.
Yeah, right. So they have on the wall. Let me pull up a picture of these guys real quick.
Star.
They have on the wall this strange image. It's like a star, and I guess it's meant to ward off the werewolf. It's like, this is a safe haven for the times that the full moon is present. And it's a strange image. And the guys were doing kind of okay when they're in the saloon at first, or the pub, and nothing was really happening. Then they mentioned that and they were scared off. And the worst part is all of these people in this village and in this town, in this saloon here, they didn't give them any advice as to what's going on. And I think, uh, out of the whole movie, despite how supernatural everything is, I feel like this space here is the most captivating without a doubt. Even though it's like very real, we're just dealing with real life people, guys and gals that you probably see just anywhere. Very, very kind of, I don't know, realistic pub goers, restaurant people. And it's strange that it's like, their fear and their content with allowing other people, travelers, to charge into their dooms just makes such an interesting climate here. And I was so glad that this movie, we go back to this place quite a few times through a few different perspectives. So I was happy that this isn't the only time we spend here in this village. But nevertheless, he eventually leaves. Both the guys die, like I said, and when they end up in the
one guy dies.
Oh yes,
His
wait,
friend.
yeah, sorry. The friend dies. David, he nearly dies. He gets all scratched up, and I'm kind of wondering, did he get bit as well, or was he infected because of scratches?
Scratches.
I think it's scratches.
Scratches.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
no, okay.
Scratch on his
See,
chest
that
and
seems
his
funny.
cheek.
I don't like that. I feel like if there's going to be some sort of infection of a gene, it should be a bite. Like a scratch just doesn't really do it.
Well,
for
they were
me.
pretty deep scratches.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
still, at
Yeah.
least with a bite, there's a saliva and things like that. With a scratch, just dirt. So
Yeah.
That was kind of something funny, Walking Dead did was, for a while it was, I believe early on it was like biting, and then they did biting and scratching early on. I remember one of the walkers, he had like a severed arm and he scratched one of the, I don't know, one of the guys in Rick's group, and then they became infected. And I'm pretty sure later in the season, later in the series, they sort of abandoned that concept. But I don't like that. I don't like the scratch. It should be a bite. The bite just makes more sense, like you said, World War Joe. But 3 weeks later, of course, David, he's in the hospital and he suffers these vivid nightmares, which I think I want to ask about that soon, of armed werewolf men. And he also has a strange moment where he approaches himself in a hospital bed in the woods, where we get a very strange image of his deadpan, grinning, gray face as he's eerily staring into the camera. A very odd moment. And while all this is going on, these weird, strange, vivid dreams, it makes you think of those Evil Dead films, of course. We also get a strange visitation from our old friend Jack. He's back from the dead. And he's, for whatever reason, his presence, his existence is tied to David in the afterlife. And he's kind of stuck in limbo. And throughout the movie, he's sort of this wise, strange, like quirky guide that it kind of explains the weird supernatural situation here. And I think it's important that he's in here for that reason. We are kind of thrown into this really wild, strange, vivid experience, this whole movie. And he sort of like lays it out, like what's going on. So he's pretty important. And in this first interaction he alerts David that he only has 2 more days before he becomes a werewolf for the first time, and their fates are tied. So he wants him to end his life, and that's a strange message. I know a lot of people had a problem with that with Woman in the Yard. How that was sort of the lesson, like end your life and you save other people. That was sort
Or
of a lot
you're
of
happy, everything is good.
Yeah,
if you do that.
It's sad. Yeah, so I sort of. It's a mixed thing. Like, it's kind of strange. They're kind of pushing that a little bit in here. We're going to talk about that later. But, while all this is going on, he eventually gets discharged and he gets all hammy with the nurse, Alex Price, and he heads on over to her place. And while all this is happening, Dr. Hirsch, which is one of the guys who was taking care of him while he was in this coma, he does some investigating himself. And he learns some pretty interesting things from a guy behind the scenes. So I'm kind of wondering what you guys think. Why do you guys think that all these people in the bar and just this village, why did they give him the cold shoulder? What's the point?
They probably seen this enough. They probably, who knows how many victims there have been, because this curse has been ongoing for, we don't know how long. And they probably tried to help these people before, but they've lost a few of their men. I don't know. That's my theory. They don't trust anyone.
It was interesting because they were prying to ask what the pentagram on the wall was, and it was such an awkward timing for them because like they're all talking about the Alamo, watching the Alamo, and the movie theater, and then the jokes go on about the Alamo, and then out of nowhere, as everyone's laughing, he says, "Oh, what's that star on the wall for?" And then it's just dead silent. I'm like,
Yeah.
pick your battles. Figure out, like, just get one person alone and ask that question. Don't ask it in front of everyone. But
Yeah, that was weird.
You made me miss my shot.
yes,
Yeah.
I think we all do kind of stuff on impulse, though. It's such a stressful situation. You don't really know what you're going to do in that moment. I can't even imagine what that. Well, I can imagine because it's happened to me. I remember when I walked into that restaurant and everyone was just staring at us. It's like, okay, this is almost a hostile environment. You don't really know how to act in that sort of environment. And these guys are exhausted. They've been walking all day. I don't know.
I kind of would have liked a little bit more if the whole town was kind of in on this. That they knew, of course, there's a werewolf and they're just feeding people to it to ward it off. Though I just didn't like how they got in there. They're all laughing and joking. They leave and it's like, oh, should we have helped them? It's like, maybe you should have said something before. And if there's a werewolf there, why are you still inside here having fun?
Yeah, they sort of tried to warn them-ish. Stay on the road, and I thought, and don't go into the moors. But it's like they're a very closed sort of community, and they have this terrible secret, and they don't want to just come out and say it, but they don't necessarily want people to die. But they don't want to give too many warnings because if they do, then maybe it's going to bring attention, too much attention, outside attention on them. It was an odd thing that was going on.
I think they feel some guilt.
Yeah.
I was wondering how far away this town is from London because he gets scratched. His friend dies, and then they shoot the werewolf, and then the next day he's brought into hospital. So I'm wondering, so werewolves never made it to London by this point. I'm wondering how much land is, or how many miles is in between this town and London.
I don't know if they specify. It feels like obviously it's out in the country, removed from the city. Kind of seems like it's kind of sequestered in this one place. The werewolf and everything. They don't ever mention whether the werewolf has gone into a big city. So I always had it in my head that it was just here in this town. They all know it, and it's always just kind of been there.
That's a good point, Megan. I like that. They would have to be so far away because I'm pretty sure they made a nod to suggesting that this was the last werewolf, the one that scratched David and killed Jack. Did I hear that right? I'm pretty sure that's the last one. Mm-hmm. And now he is the last one.
I don't recall what sort of language did they use, because that's not.
They said.
Didn't you hear that, Luke? I'm pretty sure.
They said.
I thought they mentioned that at some point.
Just keep going. I'll remember.
I think it was Jack. It was Jack. Jack was the one that told him when he was dead. He said that he was the last one.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it was the first time he was in his first appearance.
Yeah, but they seem like they're pretty easy to kill. They're just
it doesn't take a silver bullet. And as far as where they are, it doesn't. I looked up like how far away was this town from London, and it's just it's suggested it's pretty remote, several hours away by car, and obviously they would have taken him to London because that's probably a better hospital area. So it's a good distance away.
I'm also wondering why they didn't shoot David when they knew that the werewolf had attacked him, and they're going to allow him to be moved to London to be in a hospital. They thought that he wouldn't make it.
I mean, I guess because it's different if it's a human in front of them and instead of beast.
Yeah, it'll look like murder.
I think they must have not known that there was some sort of like spread in that effect. That has to be it. I think they would have done that. I mean, they obviously didn't care much about
survived before. Maybe they always just get killed.
Yeah.
Or it's just not their problem anymore.
Yeah, could
I was
be.
kind of wondering if like maybe part of it is, they were okay with Jack and David getting eaten because it saves more of them. It's like, okay, eat
true.
guys, don't eat us, please. That'd be great. Thank you very much.
could be, but they don't really lean too much in. I don't get the sense that they want people to be killed by it. Makes you wonder at the beginning, but then later they're like, well, shouldn't we warn them? Shouldn't we help them?
Yeah, that was
You
a
know.
great scene going back
Yeah.
and forth between the
Yeah.
Moors. Yeah, in the pub.
What's up with the Moors? What does that mean? Like everyone being referred in that way, the Moors.
It's. I think I want to say the first time I ever heard that word was in Wuthering Heights, the old movie.
Ooh.
The original.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. What is the Moors? It's I don't know. It's weird. It's some type of land or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Weren't they conquerors? Because wasn't that a joke in Seinfeld
Moors,
where the Moors?
yeah.
was
Oh,
the
you're
Moops?
right. The
Yeah,
Yeah,
Moors.
the Moors. No,
Yeah.
they were the Moops.
That's
But
good.
The Bubble
it's
Boy.
basically uncultivated
That's awesome.
upland areas characterized by growing vegetation. So, I don't know. It's got Heather and Pete. That Heather, that's right. I remember the word Heather in Wuthering Heights.
Heather. Oh.
Yeah.
And did you remember that it's the new one's out? You could watch the theaters
as soon
now.
as I
So
saw the trailer,
exciting,
I was
sis.
so totally
Megan
not
would be
interested.
so into this.
I never
Oh,
liked.
no.
I never liked the story. No, I never liked the
The
old
passion,
story.
Megan. The passion.
No, it just
Hard
makes me
pass.
laugh with Sin. Yes, you should totally see it, Sin.
Yeah,
you guys
absolutely
see it
not.
together. Girls' night.
Oh my god.
No thanks.
Mm-mm.
I'd
Yeah,
rather
I'm
rewatch
glad.
Dracula.
Wow. All right. I'll watch Dracula before I see that. That's my confidence too. Okay. Well, I'm kind of wondering, Joe, you made a good point. The werewolf is really vulnerable. I mean, they blasted it and, probably just 1 or 2 rounds from one of those rifles would kill it. I mean, even the cops later at the end, it didn't take much from them. I mean, we don't know how much damage they really did, but why don't they, if they're so concerned about the werewolf, they could probably find a way to bait it and kill it. Why didn't they just do that?
Well, I mean, they kind of did. They sent the Americans off, and then they got it.
But that wasn't the intention, though.
Yeah.
That was sort of like,
Yeah.
oh, we screwed up. Let's help them out.
You could have
Yeah.
easily killed this thing. There's enough people in this town that have guns. They could easily go out there and hunt it. That's why I was kind of confused.
Agree.
Like, what's
Yeah.
with these people? Are you in on it, or you just don't care? If they didn't care, I would rather them just fully not care at all about it. Maybe they go to the pub at night and then wait out the werewolf until morning or something.
Yeah, definitely weird. Here, let's get to some of these chats real quick. Thank you all for joining us again. We appreciate you all. Our good friend Kyle's here. Kyle Corwith saw this with Meg years ago. I only remember a few moments. Unfortunately, it just didn't make a lasting impression, aside from the transformation scene. Yeah.
Hey,
I
Meg.
feel ya.
Speaking of his comment, when does his side chat come for send help?
Ooh.
I really want to see that. Very
I would
curious.
say it's probably coming soon.
I think
Not
he loved
filmed
it.
it just
I think
yet,
he loved
but
it. I think he.
I don't think he likes
he
it.
hasn't told me, and I haven't seen it.
I
So
bet
this
he's
would be like a
not.
fun fireside
Oh.
I
chat
don't
where
know.
I get to ask him questions about it. Yeah,
Oh, so you're
$5,
not
Luke.
gonna see it?
$5. He's not into it.
Oh, bet.
I will
All right.
see it. I'll probably see it after, probably like a week or
but
two.
like
We got
before-
money on the
before
line, Kyle.
But he's seen it
you're not-
before. Yeah.
So you're gonna go into the chat not knowing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Wow, okay.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it last week.
Oh, nice. Good. No spoilers. Nothing.
Well,
no,
no
no
spoilers, no
spoilers, but it
spoilers.
was not my favorite of the ones that it was my second least favorite
Better
of
than
the
Oh
four-
Hi.
of the 4 that I
Ugh,
watched. It's better
nice.
than Oh Hi, absolutely, but
bruh.
it wasn't my favorite out of the 4 I watched last
Man,
week.
I don't even know how to say your username, but I remember you. Your name was like Spring or something like that. Good to see you again. It's been a while. Welcome back. Glad to catch it live, man. Hell yeah, man. And you got the cute kitties there having a good time.
Yeah.
Very good. Those kitties would not be into this movie.
But the Kyle's comment, the transformation scene was pretty big, but I think the
That bad?
crazy Nazi scene was even crazier.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah.
just
Well,
burst in. Like,
Yeah.
what was that about?
here, we're about to talk about the dream, so
Sorry.
let's say that just for a minute. Let's get through some of these.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Benjamin J. Schlack. I almost said Schlack. My bad.
Slack.
Slack. I really love the off-screen lore of the Skinwalker amongst the locals in the creepy rural pub. They could be potentially protecting whoever has the curse.
Yeah. Maybe-
That's a good.
maybe-
I like
Good job,
that.
Ben.
It's a good theory.
That's true.
Hmm.
Yeah. Melvin said the actor on the left is Drop Dead
Yep.
Fred.
Now
This
I can't
dude?
unsee it.
You know who that is?
yeah,
I've never.
You haven't
Never
seen
heard
Drop
of
Dead
that guy
Fred?
before. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
Is it a show or?
Yeah, it's a
I saw
movie.
it a long time
It's a
ago.
movie.
It's just yeah.
Oh, he meant on the right. Well, it's all good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, then he said left again. So
Come on, Melvin. Left, right. What is it? It's all good. Ben is back again. So much old druid occult folklore in that part of the world. Probably is a great deal of skinwalker sightings / stories there. Ah, nice.
Nice.
Cool. Oh, and Wilkie's Movies and Music using his
hey,
member
Corey.
chat.
What's up, Corey?
3 months. Insert random chat here. All right. Let's
insert.
see. We're going to insert Rebel saying hello. It's good to see you, Rebel Rose. Thanks for joining us. Let us know your thoughts on the movie, Rebel. I'm definitely curious. Our friend, Scottish Geek Guy.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, man.
Jimmy, answer my DMs. Answer my DMs. I want to talk Braveheart, and I want to talk about it right now, Jimmy. I want to talk about it now. No more waiting. I'm not waiting anymore. I want to do it. Pen and paper, man. Pen and paper. Good to see you, man. He says, I was relatively late to the party with this one. Didn't see it until the early 2000s, man. Well, now we're super late. It's 2026, and now we're at the party. So don't feel bad. We're worse. That's cool. Nice. All right. Let's see here. Oh, good. Rebel says that David is taken to London because that's the best care he can get. Yeah, I mean, none of those little village, no little village pubs got a medic that's gonna satisfy. I mean, he's stuck. Yeah, he's stuck under for 3 weeks. That's crazy. Yeah, I can't even imagine what that's like. Oh, Melvin says there's a BBC radio play of An American Werewolf in London where they give a lot more backstory. You find out where it came from. Landis was a consultant on the adaptation.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wow. All right, man. Cool. Interesting. And Rebel Rose is telling us the moors are marshy open land. Now we know. Cool. Nice. Melvin, the backstory is the werewolf, as a human, had escaped from some kind of lunatic asylum that night. The people in the pub knew what he was and had been warned he'd escaped. Dang.
Oh.
Cool. Sweet.
Interesting.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, let's get into this dream sequence because
Why they
this is
try to
definitely
pass him off as a lunatic attacker instead of, that's where
there's
that
the
came.
backstory.
Yeah.
Together.
Okay.
Nice. That's cool. Well, I think this is a great image. This is, I think, you have the transformation scene, which is iconic. And then you have these dreams, which totally, they really don't make any sense. You have the first dream here, or actually the first dream. Yeah. It's where he has this gray face here. We see him running in the woods. And while he's running in the woods, he approaches a bed and he's on the bed and he's laying there. And then the nurse is at his side. She's smiling at him. And then he sits up and he's got this freaky gray face. Okay, so that happens. And then the second dream is we have a bunch of these Nazi wolf men. They storm his house, his family house. They start killing everybody. And then he wakes up from the dream and the nurse, she consoles him. Are you okay? Are you okay? And then all of a sudden, it's a dream in a dream because she goes to the window and another Nazi wolfman comes out and stabs her to death. So then he wakes up and it's finally reality. Two very strange moments definitely stand out in the movie. Do you think that these were meant to tell a deeper story, or were they more so just wild for shock value?
I think
I
that
don't
they
know.
were kind of like crazy dreams, so he doesn't know peace even when he's sleeping. So kind of more of the descent into madness before he actually physically takes shape into the werewolf.
That's an interesting perspective.
Or I was thinking it might be an adverse reaction to any type of medications they put in via IV, but no.
That's realistic. That's what would actually happen.
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
They are kind of crazy. I would love to hear from the director of what were you on when you decided to do this, and why do we not have a movie of Nazi werewolves going forward?
yeah, true. Yeah, somebody can somebody please adapt that immediately? Yeah, it definitely, that's where it's I don't know. You have some of these moments, and there's quite a few. And when Jack comes back from the dead, it plays well, and he's an important role, but it kind of takes away from things for me. I know it's supposed to be funny and dark comedy, but I can't really take this situation very seriously when you have these strange interruptions. And here's two more strange interruptions, but they're funny. I mean, they're definitely funny and weird. I appreciate, something unique, and this is certainly unique, these moments. I think I like what you said, Megan, how it's sort of, this poor guy, he's really going through it right now. I mean, his friend was just mauled to death, for Pete's sakes. And to him, that just happened yesterday, even though it was, 3 weeks ago. And he's dealing with that. I can't imagine how traumatic that moment is for him. And, the way that affects us, I bet he is having some crazy acid tripping dreams like this. I think we all have kind of weird moments like that when we're sick. And then, like you said, being under meds, who knows what it's doing to this guy.
Yeah.
Which I think, like, if you consider all of these things, it kind of makes sense why he would latch to the nurse so much, because that's the only pleasure he's getting at all. I think that's sort of the only solace and pleasure he has, because nothing in his life is good right now. He's so far away from family. I don't think he doesn't seem like he has really any assets here. And his friend just died. He's injured and he's tripping balls. So, I mean, her being there is really the only godsend he has in this tragic period. So
I'm just realizing like why the Nazi dream, but I realized that earlier with the nurses, they were talking back and forth and they said, yeah, do you know he's Jewish? And so now that kind of makes more sense that the nightmare would be.
You think that was part of it?
I think so.
Oh no! I mean, they suspected he was Jewish because of the one thing.
Well, they suspected,
and then someone said something like the other nurse said something like, "Oh no, it's commonplace now," or something like that. I could go on a whole rant about that, but but then I heard that there is some scene that is shown. I don't know if it's like a dream scene or some sort of scene that's shown, where it is revealed that he actually is Jewish because of something that shows up in this scene. So, he is, and maybe that is why. I was a little confused.
That's still
by the imagery
super
too.
random.
It is, right?
It's probably not something he thinks about. And then here you go. You have this wild, crazy.
Yeah, I was like, are they Nazis? I forgot about these people.
Like, where's the, come on, other than just being like dark comedy or silly, I don't see how that plays any value in this. That one in particular, I think a lot of these moments, they kind of
maybe.
Yeah, right. Like you're supposed to be like, don't get too comfortable watching this. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Even though the ending is kind of predictable when we get to that, but I don't know. I think it's a creative way to tell the story of trauma, right? Without like him just going through the typical steps of showing grief and whatever else. So I give him credit for that, giving us a creative outlet to do that. But yeah, definitely interesting. I was really surprised just at the end of the day that this was going to be funny. I had just no idea that they would go down this route with this. It doesn't look funny at all. You look at the main poster and I see a horrifying story.
Yep. Yep.
Well, hey, that's, I mean, who knows? You could have been looking at An American Werewolf in Paris, because we almost watched that, and then I had to tell him, hey, turn this off. This is not American Werewolf of London. This is Paris. So
have any of you seen that one? American Werewolf?
I've seen bits and pieces.
Is that one newer?
I've seen the whole thing.
It was like 97 or like late 90s.
Yeah, way newer.
Have you seen it, Cam?
No, I haven't, but I might watch it after this.
Nice. Wow, we.
I want a spin-off movie with these Nazi werewolves, though. Like that was a dream to be its own weird.
I'd like to buy Anne Frank with this, though.
Nazi zombies.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a horror
Terrifying.
story of Anne Frank.
All right, here we go. So we're gonna get to the next part here. This is when things start to intensify. I have an image. Oh man, I'm missing my main image, but
it's fine.
Of course, we're getting to the main transformation scene. Chapter 4, the story. Jack, he keeps popping up. I think he has 3 pop-ups where he's trying to warn David that, you're literally turning into a werewolf, man. Like, you got to do something about this. And it's eerie what he's doing. I mean, he's telling him to, end his life, which is sad. And he's like so complicated, he has an internal conflict because he's not sure if this is like, just some weird like dream, if he keeps like nodding off and having these dreams, because the nurse is kind of telling him, yeah, you're just dreaming. These are just stress dreams. Your friend just died. This is part of the coping. And, he doesn't really know what to take out of this. And, that horror is realized, of course, when he transforms and, after the fact, he realizes what he's done. So he tries to make amends for it. But, for the second time when Jack appears, he's telling him, okay, you have to end your life, or else you're going to kill a lot of people. And he just pushes away, it's not going to happen, blah blah blah. And while he's staying the night at the nurse's place, it's a full moon, and it actually happens. And this is where we get the iconic moment where David transforms into a werewolf. And of course, like we've been saying over and over again, this is just one of those groundbreaking special effects sequences that have stood the test of time. Kyle noted it's all he remembers. I bet most people, when they think of this movie, that's all they remember. The biggest impression, right? I've asked some people on my own, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that scene." Well, have you seen the rest of the movie? I know the scene. I've seen the scene. Yeah, so they don't get too deep into that, but what ends up happening here, of course, he transforms into the werewolf. He rampages through London, and he kills quite a few people. He kills a couple, 3 homeless men,
6 people.
And a subway passenger. Yeah. All pretty dramatic moments. And the next morning, he wakes up naked in a zoo. He's in the wolf pen, and he has no memory of the night. And he returns to Alex when he's starting to slowly piece together the horrors he's committed. At first, he totally forgets everything. He's on a cab ride, and the cab driver's the one that announces, it's like, "Hey, did you hear about those 6 people that died?" And he's like, "Oh crap, I did that." So right when he hears that, he runs off, and he tries to get arrested. The cop doesn't want to arrest him. It's like, "Arrest this fool, cop, arrest him." It wasn't working, and he goes off on his own. He runs away, and he calls his family to send his final wishes, which I thought was kind of a touching moment. We don't get too many really human moments with him, because it's we rush through so many kind of silly moments with this character, and the ongoing supernatural crisis. But yeah, that one really stood out to me. Just that simple conversation he had with I believe one of his young sister. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think's important and special about Jack's role in the movie? Because obviously he adds a lot of value. So what do you think that value is, other than him being the guide?
Some comic relief, a little, because of their
creepy comic relief
with each other. Yeah, well, exactly. But it's funny. I mean, I think, like I said, when I saw this initially, I did not expect that it was going to be comedic, that it was going to be more like a dark comedy horror film, instead of just a straight up werewolf horror film. And maybe that is what kind of made it a little disappointing to me, because I wanted hardcore scary stuff, and it wasn't really super scary. I mean, there were certainly some scary moments, like the scene with the passenger going up the steps and you see the wolf emerging. That's kind of a creepy moment.
That was a great scene.
Oh yeah.
But is it not scary because we've watched it so much later in life? Because I remember, I think it was the Night of the Living Dead stream. I was mentioning how my grandmother was vomiting while watching that movie because it was so scary. And then I'm watching now, I'm so desensitized. This doesn't mean anything. So when people watched this when it first came out, I wonder if it was actually terrifying to them.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If Wilkie was here, he could tell his story of watching it for the first time when he was 30 years old.
You would have the DVD and everything.
Has even seen it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Jack, though. I think I know obviously the comic relief, though, but isn't that kind of how you would tell this as a friend to your other friend about what you do in this situation? You're going to be kind of joking and lighthearted with, I bet.
Honestly,
I agree.
I don't feel like that's his real friend in there. I just feel like it's because kind of reminds me from It,
Georgie.
Yeah, or no, Henry Bauer's best friend who was killed. He keeps coming back as a creepy corpse, and he's kind of giving him bad advice.
Oh yeah.
Is that the new It you're talking about?
Well, old and new. I'm really referring to the older one, but
okay.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Just the more of the devil on his shoulder, trying to urge him to do what he, do what he.
He seems like he's the only one that actually is sort of, kind of if you consider the severity of what's going on, he's the only realist here. Even though it's so ridiculous that he's this weird decaying spirit that's stuck in limbo. He's he's a man of action. He wants him to actually commit to making a decision to end this issue. because he knows that he is going to kill people, and he did. He killed 6 people, and later towards the end, he kills even more people. So,
Yeah.
not saying that was exactly the right response, like what he wanted, but
Really
He's kind
quickly
of-
though,
Oh, go ahead.
would it have been better if he's seeing the werewolf that infected him? Would that have been a better scene of instead of his friend? It would be the guy that infected him. So then he's kind of telling him, "Hey, I thought I could beat it too. You should just end it all. You can't do it."
That'd be pretty neat.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that would have been.
You don't have much relationship there, though. It's like, just some random dude.
Yeah, but he would be someone that has insight to it and explains, like, "Oh, did you wake up naked in a cornfield or
true.
something?" Instead of my friend
That'd be pretty
joking
cool.
around about it. So yeah, that might have been a lot better.
Yeah, that's a way to take away the silly dark humor. Like, you could make it way serious if you just have it as that guy's spirit.
Yeah,
Right.
because a lot of the humor comes from these interactions.
Well, I think towards the end you get to see more of the corpses, the victims actually become more comical as you go on. And the last scene where they are all in the movie theater and they're basically discussing how he can kill himself.
The girl,
Or-
the woman,
yeah,
is
yeah.
like, oh yeah, a gun.
Can we
Sleeping pills.
can we jump more on that, because that's actually one of the scenes we skipped all the way through. So can you guys
Wait, what
missed all of
are you
that?
talking about?
the movie theater scene, the third
No,
interaction?
no, we're not there yet. We'll get
Okay,
to
okay,
that.
we'll get
We're
there.
gonna talk. We're gonna
Let's
talk
make a
about
note
it.
of that.
I was hoping that you actually didn't skip through that, because that was kind of an important scene. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about the porn film, but the exposition that was going on.
Yeah, we skipped the whole thing. All like,
What?
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Hey, I got
Against-
context.
against
I read
my
into
will.
it. I read into it. I know the story, Luke. Gosh. All right, here we go into the transformation. So, what do you think was impressive about this entire sequence? What
fact it was a
surprised you
one-shot.
about it?
it was a one shot, I think, right?
It was not one shot. You were tripping
Well,
balls.
well,
The
okay.
camera was panning. It was
Right.
switching all the time.
That's not what I meant. I meant that it lasted a while and they kept on showing
Yeah.
different angles. But there were a fun fact of the stream. There were 5 different artists that worked on the makeup and effects on this scene.
Well,
Rick
only
Baker
5?
was
Cool.
Rick Baker was one of the people
Mhm.
involved in this, and he worked on the 1976 King Kong.
Mhm.
So I saw his name in the credits, and I didn't realize until the rewatch that he was involved in this. But obviously, the extreme pain that he's going through, it feels
Ooh,
very
yeah.
tangible,
Mhm.
because a lot of times you don't see it depicted for such a long amount of time when you're watching werewolf transformations, and it looks and sounds horrendous. It sounds terribly painful.
You could hear the
Especially the
bones
back.
crunching
Yes,
and
Yeah, the-
everything.
the
Oh.
back pain. I really like
Oh.
Kyle's comment.
What did he say?
Leslie's comment.
Oh, I can't see it.
Rick Baker was the genius who did the makeup effects. He also did The Grinch, Men in Black, and 2001's Planet of the Apes. Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Makes sense. Did it win
Rick
any
Baker,
Oscars?
the man.
Did it win an Oscar?
They
no.
won an Academy
Rick Baker
Award
won
for
the
this.
first makeup Oscar for this movie. Like, it wasn't
Oh,
really
wow.
a thing until this movie. Like, he was kind of the first person to win an Oscar specifically for makeup for this movie.
Oh, wow. Dang.
And then he's also like the most Oscar-winning person for makeup.
I can see why.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think with this whole sequence, I think the duration is definitely something that was unique. And I imagine, like, when you think about it, there's no way someone's just going to transform into something, in a blink of an eye, right? Like, that's what we always see for any sort of transformation into monster, right? Or I feel like we've gotten so many different tales of that. And I think the new Wolfman, I appreciated that the new Wolfman kind of took its time a little bit, but of course that movie was dog water. This is way better than that. There's no
I've
I
heard
denying
Nice,
love
that.
man.
that transformation scene. That was so good.
Are you talking about
Right.
in the new one?
And yeah, the new one,
Yeah.
2025. That was really, really good. But I have a question. So I don't know if I would consider this meta for the movie, but before the transformation, Alex is talking to Jack and they're referencing both The Wolfman by Bela Lugosi and The Curse of the Wolfman by Oliver Reed, I believe. So would you consider that meta, that they're talking about other movies within this movie that are
Yes.
pertaining to?
Yeah, I
Wolfman?
think so. Yeah. Yeah, I
But-
think
That's
so, for
interesting.
Sure.
I didn't catch those moments.
Yeah,
They're referring to other films, other werewolf films?
that pertain to werewolf movies.
Werewolf.
Yes.
Oh, weird. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, I guess they are aware of werewolves like being a fictional character then.
Well, yeah, because
No
at
one-
one point one of them mentioned somewhere somebody mentioned something about doesn't it take a silver bullet?
Yeah.
And the other one's like, like no, something like
I think
that.
that was in the pub.
Oh,
right?
and they
Yeah,
mentioned the
somewhere.
Wolfman movie. They mentioned the original Wolfman.
With Lon Chaney, right? Was that Lon?
Well, the oldest one, whatever
Yeah,
it is.
the only thing I didn't like about this scene, and I wrote it down in my notes, was so it's showing him in her apartment, just kind of wasting time. He's not hungry. He's not hungry. He's not hungry. He's not hungry because obviously because of the creature.
Yeah.
And it's cutting away to her in the hospital. Then it comes back to him, and he's sitting in a chair reading. And then all of a sudden, like, isn't it like it feels like it's not even 1 second. And he like throws the book. He's like, "Oh my god, I'm so hot!" And it's just like I would have liked a little bit more build up to that instead of that sudden, falling on the floor and screaming about how hot. It's like I did not like that. Like
Took
the
his-
trend.
Took his pants off instantly too. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
It
he was
definitely
like,
should have been
"Ah."
like like
I
if
thought
there
it was
was
a false-
a bead of sweat coming down his head. Maybe he's just tapping away, can't get
Like,
comfortable, and then it happens.
Yes, exactly. Like give us a little bit of a build up to it because we had none, and it was so abrupt and jarring. I was not impressed with that.
That's what I
That
was thinking.
part
Like,
of
is this a comedy because it's funny in the sense that they wrote these things down, or because some of these situations are just so ridiculous that we just perceive them as funny?
I don't know. Well, I think
It's
I
gotta
don't
be a
think that
mix.
moment was supposed to be comedic, but there's definitely comedy in it.
Yeah,
Well,
I definitely
even-
didn't take this as funny.
Even the score is Sam's Cook Blue Moon playing.
Yeah, that's
so it's just very
weird.
classic. Very classical.
Well, maybe it wasn't this one. There's a few different. I think the music plays such an interesting role throughout this movie, where it that's where it gets like, tonally just thrown around. Is you have some of these dramatic moments, and it's playing really strange sounds and songs that don't exactly match the moments. I don't remember if it's this one or later, but there's definitely a few high intensity like dramatic scenes that are kind of undercut by these really weird soundtracks playing. And I kind of wonder why they did that. I felt like they did that to sort of mix it up and also sort of create this more maddening experience in a different way, which I think worked. But I didn't remember. Yeah, Blue Moon in this scene that fit pretty well. That wasn't too weird.
I agree.
Yeah. I think like if this movie was trying to be more dramatic, I would definitely prefer like a composition, a score to be the the undertone. I think that would have played well, but I don't know. I don't think there was a score in this at all. Was there? Did you guys hear anything?
Nothing of note.
No.
I mean, I remember picking up on something about the score that in certain scenes that reminded me of a score in another movie, and now I'm not thinking of it, and I forgot to look up who actually scored this. But it wasn't anything that beyond that moment, it wasn't really anything that
sure.
stood out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would have looked into it too, but I thought the score was like it's either lacking or not even there. So what's the point in like figuring that out, right? It's not much of a credit.
There was some in like the opening credits, but that was like all I remember.
And that was a good one too. I liked that. The opening crawl, that brought me in. I liked how Kyle, while we were talking about signs, he was very fascinated by the opening crawl and signs. And I paid special note to this time. Kind of a little bit of influence there, Kyle, a little bit of influence. But do you think like, in so many horror films, you kind of wonder, is it better off that you see more of the monster or less, right? For the horror shock value, right? It's most of the time it's better not to see them, like in my opinion. So there's more of that like tension, like what are we actually dealing with here? The silent unknown. So do you think, when we got like the action set pieces in this movie where the werewolf was actually doing something, eating people, do you think that should have been more visual, where we saw the werewolf like getting entangled with people and maybe seeing more of a struggle between the victim and the werewolf? Or was it better shown the way it was when it happened?
Well, I think if they showed too much of the werewolf for too long, it would look too goofy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why they kept it hidden for as long as they did when it was attacking.
I think it was perfect that they revealed it. If I remember correctly, the first like shot of the full creature was when it was crawling towards the guy in the subway from the view from on top of the
Yeah.
escalator. That was really good. That was a really good shot and great introduction to the creature.
Yeah, other than that,
I
we didn't
agree.
really see anything early on.
No.
Which is good though, because they can only do so much with it back then. If it was today, it would just be a CGI mess. So
You're kind of right. Like I felt like you don't really get the I didn't get a taste of this movie being like unable to do something like special with the effects. But when you saw the actual werewolf, it was a little bit. There was a little bit of doubt. Like it just didn't. It looked like a man on all fours in a suit, or a puppet of some sorts. I don't think it could have worked well if they tried to do that more.
Right.
But who knows? Maybe they could. Maybe they could. I still think as great as a practical effects showcase this was, it just doesn't beat The Thing for me. The Thing is still superb. I don't know how any title could beat that. But nevertheless, this was awesome. It was great. This kind of we don't really see this guy in that much physical pain leading up to this, except that one moment where he gets scratched, and then you hear him in utter torment here.
Mhm.
It's like a wake-up call. It's like, dang, this is really bad. So yeah, definitely.
That's why it stands out so much.
Well, what do you guys think about David's character? Because we spend Sin, I like that you mentioned it early on in the stream. You weren't so sure about him as like a main character. You didn't really perceive him to be particularly strong or not. What do you think? What is it about his character that is lacking in that department? Because obviously we follow him this whole time. We spend a decent amount of time with his character, but there are some elements of who he is and maybe some holes in his story that could have helped to make him a more likable main lead.
So was the question directly to me again?
Oh well, everybody. If you comment on it too.
Yeah. Like I, for one thing, I just don't think that he has the screen presence to draw me into him as like this leading man character. He just maybe that's intentional. Maybe he's just supposed to be a normal everyday guy, and he gets caught up in this situation that he's in. But he's just kind of mad to me.
just
Yeah.
personality wise,
Personality, like he's a little kind of goofy and silly, and doesn't captivate my attention. In other words.
same. I was not really enthralled by him at all. I was just waiting for him to have some kind of a change where he's cooler. Like I know it'd be like cliche though, but he wasn't really that cool at all. He got the nurse instantly by doing very little. Just I didn't really feel anything about this guy. He felt like a weird miscast.
Yeah, if he would have had some struggle with the nurse, that could have some respect. Like, okay, that was a big mountain you had to climb, and you climbed it. But no, he just got right in there. It's like I don't think so. Yeah, why are we supposed to? Like, where are we supposed to like him? Like, what is it about his character that we're supposed to like? Where
he's
at
not
the end you care.
necessarily unlikable. He's just kind of bland. Like he's not. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Maybe
it's
not
hard to
like, but
describe.
captivating.
He's not.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that spark that makes you really feel drawn into him. Also, maybe it's his performance too. I don't think he was that great of an actor in here.
I didn't really see very much of a struggle of him not wanting to turn into the werewolf. I think that's where, for me, I didn't like him because he wasn't trying to fight it. It was just, this was happening to him, and he's just going to roll with the punches. So maybe that's where it was. Plus, he didn't seem like leading man material too. To speak to Sin's point, yeah.
Leading man material, yeah.
Revel just made an interesting point. I just saw your chat here. He's just an average guy that had something horrible happen. Kind of the point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but when you see,
what I mentioned.
I get that. But there's not much to grasp onto enough to where by the end when he dies that you're supposed to feel for him a little more, because it was sad, but it could have been so much more than that.
You gave it away.
I know.
Gave it away.
Spoilers are out, everybody. Cover your ears.
Would Jeff Goldblum have been better in this? I'm
Oh,
thinking of Jeff
Probably.
Goldblum from
Oh,
The
come
Fly, though. I
on.
think he could have got that nurse easily.
I think the
Yeah,
Fly.
you're-
oh,
yeah.
that's for sure. I think the Fly came out after this. Actually,
It did.
I was
Oh,
surprised.
let's
I was
see.
surprised to hear that. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, okay. So this was kind of an origin of that idea. I think they are very similar.
Bruce Campbell. He'd be great in this role.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think if you had Bruce, you would have to change up so much, I think, because he's just so much more charismatic. This guy, like
That's true.
Sin said, he's just a born and bland, as Rebel says, just an average guy. But you got to give me something here. You got to give me a reason to root for this guy. I didn't really want to see him win in the end. I didn't care.
All right. I want to say hi to the chat a few more times. Thanks again for everybody talking to us. Looks like you guys have some interesting conversations here. Melvin Deeply again. He's talking about the death on the subway. I thought this guy looked familiar. He says the businessman type he kills on the subway is the original Bib Fortuna actor, Michael Carter. Weird. Okay. That's a strange connection. Very good, Melvin. Very good. So yeah, remember him. He was was he a Twi'lek? I think he was a Twi'lek, on Jabba's palace. He was like his right-hand man. He was pink and ugly.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Nerds.
Yeah.
That, Melvin.
Yeah, I know that's a strange
How did you
connection. Good for
possibly get that?
Melvin knows all. Nice. Melvin also says here, Rick Baker was working on the Howling with Rob Bottin, and he left that to work on this. There's a really good Joe Rogan episode with Rick Baker. Okay,
Oh, I'm gonna
that
have to
sounds
check that out.
interesting. Okay, I'm down, man. You got me. You sold me. Everybody, check that out. I guess if you want to learn more about the practical effects artist who has most of the credit for this film. That's cool. Yeah, Rebel Rose, man. Everybody, a lot of Rick Baker fans in here. She says Rick Baker wasn't just involved. He designed the transformation and his studio handled all the effects. He turned down the Howling to do this instead, which is why he got Rob Bottin's fabulous and far more disturbing transformation. Oh, Rob Bottin. Cool. Wow. I don't know about the deep lore of this film. A lot of people have a lot of good things to say about this. Oh gosh, Rebel's saying, hey, Jeff Goldblum would have been the better choice in most things. I thought she said Jeff Bridges for a second. I'm like, I don't know. He's not replacing this dude. Not Jeff Bridges.
That's funny you'd say Jeff Bridges because Rick Baker worked on King Kong and Jeff Bridges was in King Kong.
Oh, look at that. All the connections.
That's what I think of. When I think of Rick Baker, I primarily think of King Kong because I love that version of it, the 1970s version.
Man, I got to get into those King Kong films. I've only seen the Kong movies and they're oof. They're Duke.
2005 King Kong.
Straight Duke. Yeah, the Peter Jackson one. Everybody seems to like that one a lot.
I love that one.
Yeah,
It's good when it's really good because of the visual effects, but I just have a lot of love for the 1976 version. It's so epic, and I love the score. And I don't know, I know it's not perfect. It's not great. It's not Jessica Lange's best acting, even though she's actually a really, really good actor. But I love almost everything about the movie. And Rick Baker hated the work that he did on it because he basically was in a monkey suit.
Wow.
But I thought he did, for the time that it was made in, I thought they did a good job with it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, maybe we'll talk about that one sometime. I'd be down. I think it looks great. Like I think they did a great job with like the effects of King Kong. I've seen some images and it's like, man, that looks
One
solid.
from the 70s. Yeah, I love the
Oh no, I'm talking about
scenes.
Peter Jackson.
Oh, the Peter Jackson one, because they perfected, like the look. It looks good. Obviously in the 1976, it's a guy in a monkey suit. But I still love that one more than the Peter Jackson one. It's just like I wish they could take the visual, beauty of the Peter Jackson one and merge it with the 1976 version.
It's weird to think this movie 1981. That's a long time ago. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
What is that?
45 years ago.
40, yeah, 47.
45 this year.
47 years. Wait, is it? Wait.
45
44 years? Or 45, technically 45 years. Yeah, you're right. That's so
Long
crazy.
time
That's a
ago.
lifetime.
Yeah.
I'm almost 45. That's crazy. I'm just kidding.
No, you're not. Oh, wait a second. No, you are not.
I used to tell people I was 26 when I was 19, and they believed me, which was cool. Now I'm
Tell
getting
people you were
kinda close.
26 years old when you were 19.
I know. I felt cool. It wasn't like a lie. I would tell them I'm joking afterwards, but I would see if they believed it. Yeah, I wouldn't like let them think it forever.
Sure
And most
thing,
of them thought I
Jackson,
was.
sure
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm for real. I'm for real. I don't lie. No. Let's go. Oh, we got a new friend here, Stephen Pratt, 7369. He says, "Thanks for joining us, Stephen. We appreciate your support. I thought the character performances of David, Nurse Price, and Jack were fantastic. David went through hours of makeup for that awesome werewolf transformation. That's cool,
I believe it.
Nurse Price. You know, it's funny when I posted about this, people are going wild in the comments about Nurse Price on X. So yeah, everyone.
Oh,
liked
I know.
Nurse
I
Price.
saw. I was like,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
like, oh gosh, y'all are dreaming over here. So I don't know what she did to the young men that saw this when it came out, but definitely made the guys crazy. That's what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
for some reason.
Well,
She
David
turned a
was
lot
the
of-
every guy, so it was, oh my gosh, I could pull her. Yeah. Done
Yeah,
London.
right.
lot of
Yeah, he's
boys
the
into
normal
men.
guy. It's like, hey, there is hope. No, that's funny. But thanks for joining us, Stephen. Well, we're gonna move into the final part here, and you guys can help us fill in the gaps because Luke is right. We definitely see, like for me, I don't care. I might lose a little bit of story if something like this comes, but you got to protect yourself. You can't whatever movies and whatever you watch, it influences you. You might not think it does, but it does, and it has an impact on who you are as a person, how you think, and I just completely divorce myself from moments like that. I take no shame in it. And that's what I did here. Anytime there's something like that in a film, I'm not watching it. I don't care. I don't care if I miss something. I'll read about it. So that's what I did here. I read about this moment. And we didn't skip the whole thing, like Luke said. We just skipped the gross part, which was, some part of the content. But we caught the very end when things really picked up. But from what I read, I will tell people. So what ends up happening towards the final moments of this film, when we decided not to watch this, so people are going to fill it for us a little bit. David, he meets Jack again. He's back for one final warning in a porno theater, for Pete's sakes. He's in a porno theater, which for what somehow they get away with having nude posters on the outside of the theater in public. I don't think you're allowed to do that anymore. So that was like, oh, okay. I guess that was okay in 81.
It's London.
The title of that porno also is some sort of Easter egg, like it's used in other movies that either Landis has worked on or someone. It was weird. I was like, okay, that's odd. That's funny.
No thanks. Well, I hope I don't catch that Easter egg. But yeah, so here, something that is kind of funny about the film, which I did enjoy watching, was seeing how Jack continued to decay. He just got uglier and
As
uglier.
the story went,
Yeah, that was fun. And he looks awful at this point in time. And from what I read here, while they're in the theater, all of the ghosts of his recent victims appeared. And I guess they all urged David to unalive himself to release their souls from the limbo. And that's interesting that everybody's connected to him that way. So, I mean, he's responsible. I mean, he really screwed things up getting involved in this. And, it kind of makes you wonder. It's like, ugh, like, should you have done it earlier? But it's like such a terrible thing. You don't even want to consider that. But the movie, it's the movie that's posing this question. It's not like we want to know in life, but that's what the movie, you're dancing with that dilemma. And he continues to refuse. And as the full moon approaches again, he becomes a werewolf yet again. And we did catch this when he became a werewolf, and he storms out of the theater and he starts mauling a bunch of people. And that was kind of a fun moment where it's like, okay, we get to see how crazy powerful this werewolf was. And man, nobody could do anything about him once he left that theater. But eventually he ends up getting cornered. He goes down this alley, and the nurse appears with the doctor, and she's trying to figure out how to help him out here. And there's like 10 cops loaded with rifles fixed on the werewolf in the corner, and the nurse, she loves him, even though she's known him 3 days. She loves him. And she approaches and she tries one final time, and she reaches out to him, and he looks at her. And it's a touching moment because you see, he's snarling, and then there's just that brief second where he settles. He settles, right? And he looks.
After
and then
she says she loves him,
Yep. And then he returns back into his primal form, and he races towards her, and all the cops fire on him and kill him. And at that point, she's devastated. And he's naked again. We get a lot of naked David in this. So you see another side profile of him shot up, and he's naked, dead on the ground, and it's a sad moment, and that's the end of the story.
And it. It's over.
Yeah.
Credits.
There you go. Credits. That's the end of the story. We don't see what happens to the nurse or anything else. I guess it's assumed that the curse is over and everybody, I guess, goes to hell or heaven or wherever they're supposed to go. Definitely interesting conclusion. Did this ending emotionally impact you guys at all?
No.
I thought that it kind of does circle back to what they had said previously. So Alex, when she was talking to Jack and they referenced the werewolf movies, David says to Alex something to the effect of werewolf can only be killed by someone he loves. And so that kind of harkens back to the end. So I thought that was a little bit fitting. I mean, I don't like how it ended so abruptly, but it was definitely, it came full circle in that way.
Yeah, I think
nice.
I think when I first saw it, I think I felt more affected by it because throughout the whole movie, I was hoping that he would be able to somehow break the curse or figure out a way to keep himself sequestered from, people when he's having this transformation. I didn't want him to die. And so it was like, bummer, he couldn't escape this. But when I was rewatching it, obviously I knew it was going to happen. And because I couldn't connect with this love that they supposedly felt, I was like, when she said that, I love you. And I was like,
like, come on. That's not love. Come on.
Yeah, no.
Well, maybe could it be? I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works.
I mean, I buy more the love that Sarah Connor felt for Kyle in those movies. They never explicitly said "I love you" or anything like that, but you can tell through the experience that they both went through together that she did, and he had loved her before he even met her, physically, because he knew of her. And she, through this trauma that they went through and this horrific experience and everything, and now she's gonna have his child, she loved him, but it didn't come across as corny like this did.
True. Yeah. I guess with horror or horror comedy, there's got to be like an itch of that the corniness, right? I think corny. I wouldn't consider this a corny movie.
They were trying to be corny with that, though. They were trying to be serious, but it doesn't land. It didn't for me, anyway.
Yeah. And that's sad because it's supposed to be like this whole movie was leading to that point, too.
Yeah.
I think, Megan, you were the one that mentioned it, how like a big part of his like building respect for his character would be his struggle to suppress the wolf that's growing inside of him. That could have been cool. That could have made this moment stronger, but he was just kind of all right, hey, I'm hanging out, I forgot.
The only thing that he tried to do was get himself arrested. That was really the only thing that he really tried to do to keep himself sequestered.
He halfway attempted to off himself in the phone booth, but he couldn't.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
true.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Speaking of when he tried to get himself arrested and he was talking about Prince Charles, he threw out that slur.
Man.
Yeah, and Prince Charles is threw out that slur. But at the end, they put a specific thing in the credit at the end, giving thanks to like England and congratulations to Prince Charles on his wedding to Lady Diana.
Nice.
Whoa.
It was like some people feel like that was kind of their way of sort of trying to soften the blow of the things that his character called Prince Charles in that scene. I thought that was funny.
Man. Yeah, I thought I'm glad you reminded me of that moment in the phone booth because I was thinking, he was like freaking out and he was willing to get himself arrested, but he didn't do that. But he could have continued. He could have punched the cop or something. I mean, there was a lot of ways he could get arrested.
Yeah, he could have assaulted him. Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think like the werewolf isn't like super strong or anything. He's not getting out of like prison bars. So
He was able to get out of the movie theater with them closing the steel door.
Oh, okay.
I want to know.
That pull down door, that pull down door looked really flimsy though.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't look super strong. Like maybe behind the bars of a jail cell.
That might have been.
He might not be able to.
I must have missed that part.
You're gonna get it later. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Well, I was kind of, I don't know, by this ending, how would we have wanted it to end if we could have made the choice? If we could change the ending, what would we do different?
Ties him every full moon. She ties him up with chains
Yeah,
in the
something
basement
like
or
that.
something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They
You
both
want that
learn-
as the ending?
They both learn how to deal with it. I mean, it reminds me of Being Human, which was a show from the UK that then they made here in the US, and one of the characters is a werewolf, and he always does something every full moon to try to prevent himself from hurting people.
Same thing in the Anthony Hopkins, Benicio del Toro werewolf
Yep.
one too.
Yep.
Which was a really great movie too.
Actually, I like that film.
Yeah.
Probably more than this one.
That's definitely a better werewolf movie than this one.
Yeah, well, there's several better werewolf movies, like Dog Soldiers, you guys. Oh my gosh. And Silver Bullet. I love Silver Bullet.
I'm hearing people say good things about the Howling in the chat. I've never
The Howling,
haven't
yeah,
seen
the
that one.
Howling's, the Howling's good. It's
Is that the
my
one with
favorite. D. Wallace
Oh,
is in
okay.
that.
I haven't seen those, but the 10th Kingdom. I don't know if you guys remember that TV series.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
But I never
Oh,
watched it.
yeah. Oh, well, it's a TV series. It's really good. There is a character that plays a wolf, and every full moon he has to tie himself up and make sure he's not around humans or any type of animals. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a really
Okay.
good show. I'd watch it.
I think this ending fell flat though because I didn't really feel the love and everything, and
Yeah.
yeah.
That's pretty big. Like if you think of the end of The Fly, like when I saw that, that really touched me with Howard Shore's score in the background. Oh my gosh. And you see The Fly and he's so disgusting and so obviously inhuman, but you just get that glimmer of humanity and somehow you see it. Somehow it's real in this monster. You see Jeff Goldblum. I saw Jeff Goldblum. I couldn't believe it. And here, literally the same scene here. And it just doesn't work. But you know, it's because of the establishment, right? It's because of what they did before, not just the scene itself. Or else it could have, you know.
Kind of feels like a really good first draft, if anything. Like there feels like there's a lot of room for improvement as we made a lot of comments about what we would have changed though. It does feel like that they didn't really do. They could have done another rewrite to really tie this thing up.
Yeah, that's fair. Man, Nadia's not gonna like hearing any of this. She's gonna hate this.
It's a fun movie. It's just it could have been a lot
Yeah,
better.
I would recommend. It's just not one that I would turn. If I want to see a werewolf movie, I'm not going to pull out American Werewolf and let
I think like with this movie,
Me neither.
one of the moments that stands out to me, which I think is like, I thought it might have been the most random to me, was in the very beginning when I don't even remember the context. Oh wait, well you know what happened? It was right when he's in the hospital and he's been he'd met the nurse and everything, and it's before she brings him food. He's not hungry, right? And it's because you see the clip of him and he's buck ass naked and he's running through the woods and he tackles a deer and he eats his head. That was always one of those moments that was funny. That was funny.
That
and
was
so
that
weird.
threw me off, honestly.
I was kind of wondering if he was like, did he know he did that? Because you know he's not hungry afterwards, and that's obviously why he's not hungry. But did you guys have any like standout moments like that for you guys, other than the wolf transformation scene? Because obviously that's everybody's number one.
Standout moments would just be that opening scene in the bar. Well, that wasn't really the opening scene, but before that, I read that there was like foreshadowing and symbolism, because before they get to the bar, they get in the back of this truck and there's these sheep there, and then they go to the slaughtered lamb. So it's kind of like foreshadowing that they're going to be these lambs led to the slaughter.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Mine were the Nazi nightmares. Those were just, and at first I had no clue what those things were. Yeah, that was strange.
It just that was such a jaw drop in what am I watching moment.
yeah, you're watching the Muppets for a second, and then all of a sudden these Nazi zombies bust in and start lighting everything on fire and shooting. What's going on here?
Yeah, but now the Jewish thing, kind of, I wonder what the motivation for that was though, because that was just kind of interesting. Like, oh yeah, they did have that one little line. So is that what he was
That's a good
thinking.
theory.
Is it like where you get bit by the werewolf and then you have the memories of every previous werewolf too? So I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. What could the director have been thinking with that one?
Where have we seen that? That sounds so familiar. Like that's been
Nazi
like that
zombies.
idea.
You've heard of Nazi zombies?
No,
before.
not that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that concept of
the
like
concept of the past memories.
Yes.
Oh, that's been in different.
I've seen that before.
Yes, I have too, in multiple movies, not just one specific other one. It's been like a thing.
Well, the first thing that came to mind, which doesn't really count, was Black Panther when he takes the herb and he sees his ancestors. I don't know why. That's what came to mind, but that's not
That's
the
a
same
good
thing.
reference. There we go.
It's not the same thing.
A Marvel reference from Jackson. How about
Ooh,
that?
wow.
But
The
maybe it
best
was-
Marvel film.
Hey,
of
proud
all
of you,
time.
buddy.
But maybe there was something to it because he was running through the woods eating the deer. Maybe that was another version of them eating the animals in the wilderness. Some of that.
Mm. Yeah, we don't really we don't see him mess with animals anymore beyond that point. I like seeing like just like the gentle nods that are suggesting that there's something like wrong with him throughout the movie, like the cat hissing at him or the dog going crazy barking at him. I think the gentle stuff like that. This movie does a good job setting up that scene, that transformation scene, a lot built up to that moment. And I think that was well done, building up to that transformation, that first transformation. But the love, that just didn't work the same.
No.
If they would have built it up properly, this would be very different, right? I think we'd probably rank this a lot higher if it was like a proper romance. Because that's what this film wanted to be. It wanted to be the romance was a pretty heavy portion of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an answer for the thing about the Nazi werewolves. So yes, it is symbolic of this is what it's supposed to mean. It's an amped up, hyper stylized representation of the monsters who slaughtered his ancestors. So yeah, getting back to the Jewish thing, and the all encompassing symbol of the monster as well as the fear and the shame that can find itself hiding inside us all. So it's like multi-layered.
Wow, deep.
I don't like that because it's such a deep.
It's
good,
too much.
It's too good, but I feel like that doesn't seep into the rest of the movie. Like what you said, it sounds really good and deep, but I don't get
deeper
that.
than the way the movie, because the movie is kind of lighthearted in all these different ways. Like they really don't lean into his Jewish heritage except in that one line, like overtly, and he doesn't even talk about it. So,
no. Well, interesting.
Unless it was a cut scene somewhere of stuff like that.
Yeah, let's see some deleted scenes. The ultimate cut.
Yeah.
I almost, you know what's funny? Before I saw this, I told Luke, because I looked into this. Like before I watch these movies, I look into it because, like I said, I don't want to see sexual stuff in movies. I always look into every single movie, and I looked into this IMDb. It said there was nothing. Great. I
You were
usually
looking at
trust
Paris.
IMDb. I might have looked. I must have looked at the other one because we were watching. I was super relaxed, and then whoa, here we go. We're in the shower. Skip. And why did I bring that up? Oh yeah, well I brought that up because I was excited.
Yeah, they made him jump.
I was excited about it. Made me jump. No, it did not make me jump. Nice try. But yeah, that's more of a jump scare than anything else in this movie. But I was excited because I wanted to buy this because I've seen this on sale so many times. But no, I'm not going to buy it. I don't care if there was a lot of good stuff in here. I don't see myself watching this again. I'd rather watch The Howling or check out another one.
The Howling has some stuff in it too, by the way. So.
Oh, whoa! That was close.
Yeah, Rebel said you have to skip like 50% of that movie.
Of The Howling? Crap.
I think so.
Okay.
Right? I do have a two-parter. I'm gonna respond to Kyle's question real quick. Best werewolf movie for me, yes, because I've not seen that many werewolf movies out there. I've seen the one with Jesse Eisenberg. What have you guys seen that one?
Oh yeah.
I've seen that when I was little. I rented that on demand.
I don't like him.
Was that Christina Ricci as well? Cursed? Is that what's called?
Cursed. Yes, yeah. I've seen that years ago. I'd have to rewatch it to compare with American Werewolf, but yes, this is probably my favorite werewolf movie of all time. Not meaning that it's one of my favorites. It's my favorite werewolf movie. But yeah,
what's better, this or Captain America: Brave New World?
Brave New World.
Wow. Okay.
Honestly, I do love Brave New. I like Brave New World.
Oh gosh.
Hey, what can I say?
It's over Godfather. There's Brave New World, and there's Godfather.
Hey, I'm pro Steve Rogers. I'm no,
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, yeah. You know what? I want to watch Wolfman. After seeing this, I'd like to see the original Wolfman.
The new one's is really good too. It's a great action movie, and I actually feel the relationship a lot more. And also, you got Anthony Hopkins in it too.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty decent one. It's very atmospheric too. And Emily Blunt, if you like Emily Blunt.
Oh yeah, she's in that one too.
She's in that as well. There's some
Ew.
really good ones. I mean, Ginger Snaps is a good one too. But yeah, Dog Soldiers and Silver Bullet.
I think I've heard Dog Soldiers before.
Dog Soldiers
Real
is
quick,
brutal.
Steven, you're gross, man. Maybe she could keep him in the basement at her flat and chain him up the next full moon. Oh, bro, hell no.
Yeah,
you freaky, bro. You freaky. We ain't doing that here.
Freakier than the whole movie.
I mean, you would have to if it's someone you love. That's why it's so sad with the relationship thing, though. If they really loved each other, and like, what lengths would she go to keeping him safe? That would have been much better to explore.
I mean,
True.
you gotta do, you know.
For Luke and Jackson, so comparing Van Helsing portions with the werewolf and this, which one's better?
Oh, Van Helsing, easy.
Yeah, that was more. That was more of a
awesome.
fun sequence of the werewolf action. You know, because
It was funny.
it was given more interaction.
Definitely. I don't know. I loved Hugh Jackman in that. He was a great main lead.
Was that a werewolf?
Yeah. Was there even a?
I remember it being a big beast or something, right?
No,
Like
it was a werewolf.
Where was the werewolf? I don't remember.
That was the brother.
Okay.
Wasn't.
That's right. That's right.
I gotta look
Wasn't
that up.
wasn't
And he dies.
Mr. Hyde was in that.
Yeah, that's
in
right.
the
Mr.
opening,
Hyde was awesome.
Yeah.
He's in the very beginning.
Yeah.
You deal with Dracula.
Oh
this
yeah, I
weird,
got you,
like ladies that are all over him.
Oh, those ladies were hilarious.
Joe remembers them well.
It's like,
Nice.
do you not feel nothing? No, I feel nothing.
Kyle's crazy. Where was the chat? There, he was talking about the poster. You know, we were wondering how can you get away with showing nude posters in public? Yes, you can show nudity in adverts/public billboards in Europe. I visited Austria back in high school. Trust me, bruh. Come on, bad boy, very bad.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Hope you got suspended for that, Kyle.
Yeah, it's blocked. Report. Sasha here, she made a good point about those doors that were protecting or that was keeping the werewolf in the theater. Sashi says,
Hey,
Sashi,
Sashi's not a girl, by the way.
Oh,
He's we call him our man from the future. He's from 12 hours ahead of us.
Sorry,
We apologize, Sashi. We apologize on behalf of Brawler.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if I referred to you yet.
Sorry that this guy had to assume.
Oh my gosh, come on, Sasha.
You said Sasha, and then I looked at. I was like, "That's Sashi. That's
oh my
our man from
gosh,
the
sorry,
future."
Sashi. Good to have you, dude, bro. He says I have a retail store. Those pull down doors aren't that resilient.
Yeah,
okay,
they didn't look resilient in that
Oh my
scene.
gosh, that's funny. Oh, let's see anything else here.
To choose to my gender.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Sashi, he is mentioning no one is going to suggest Teen
the
Wolf.
movie.
That's Michael J. Fox, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and there were two movies. It was the second one. Jason Bateman, was he in the second one? Teen Wolf 2. Yeah.
What was
Those are comedic as well, and so because of that, I don't know.
Wasn't there a TV show, Teen Wolf, too?
Yes, I love that
Yeah,
show.
that was a good one.
That was a
I've
good
heard.
show, especially the first.
That
two
wasn't
seasons.
Michael J. Fox.
No.
Not the
Okay.
show, no. And that was from that show that I was introduced to Dylan O'Brien, who played in
Who's
Send Help.
in-
He's a
He's
fantastic
great.
actor.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's the
I
young
loved his
actor?
character.
Yep.
Loved his character in there.
He's not even the main character in that, too.
No, but
He's
he
the
was
friend.
like
He was really good.
he was like one of the best ones, and it seems like his career has taken off more than anybody else in that
Is
show.
he Percy Jackson in those old Percy Jackson movies?
No,
Actor? Oh, those
no, that wasn't that Logan.
He's
Lerman
in the
from
Maze
Ohio?
Runner. Those Maze Runner.
Yeah, he was in the Maze
Yes.
Runner
Oh.
movies. He was also an
Okay.
American Assassin.
Okay.
He's been in a
I
lot
kept
of
thinking
good
that was
ones.
Percy Jackson this whole time.
No.
He looks just like him. Dylan O'Brien.
I can see
Yeah.
him in
Okay.
once.
Okay. He was in that one movie you were talking about, Megan. Is that the same one? Oh no. Is it the
It's
same actor?
Oh Hi.
Oh, hi.
Oh hi. Oh hi.
No, yeah, Logan Lerman. Yes, he
Different
was
one.
in that.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay,
It couldn't
Yeah.
be called
Oh
that,
no.
though.
Oh, no.
Yes, exactly.
Alternate title.
Gosh. Oh, that's funny. Let's see. Stephen Pratt, our friend Stephen Pratt, 7369. I'd say this was my favorite werewolf movie. Did y'all have a favorite part?
My favorite
like
part.
number one favorite
pub
part.
The transformation, obviously.
Oh man.
That's iconic. I think that's the biggest thing of this movie is that we've never seen a transformation like that before. And
I really like the scene, even though it's during the nude movie, but I like the fact that David is able to talk to all of his victims and just get information from them that way. That was pretty cool because it wasn't just his friend telling him you need to be more careful.
Yeah, it's all these
You need
other
a
people.
yeah. It was really interesting to get them to chime in.
Some
kind
of
of
them were
help.
mad at him. Like
Yeah, but they came to him. But they came to him like minutes before he changes again. He turns
Yeah.
back into the werewolf, so it really
Yeah.
didn't do any good.
Nope.
Dang. Sad. So it was all for nothing.
Yep.
Stephen Pratt, question for you. Megan the Texan, would you shoot David at the end in the alleyway? If that was Kyle.
His alias Stephen Pratt 736. Nice try, Kyle. Yeah, I would. Cause
Okay.
yeah, he's not. I mean, if I was just a police officer, or if I was.
I guess
You
in
were
this
her.
situation,
The
you're
nurse.
her.
The girl.
You were the
yeah.
nurse.
Oh, in that case, no. If I was a
Oh.
police officer, yes.
Then you're
Not
gonna get
knowing
mauled
anything.
to death.
Well, I do it
I
for
will-
love. For love.
It would be tough for me to pull the trigger too. I'm hoping my wife would realize, don't get me.
Nice. All right. Well, what's the consensus, everybody? Is this a recommend? Is this a must see for our viewers to watch?
It's definitely a watch.
I'll rush to see it.
Yeah, it's like worth watching once to say you've seen it, but it's not one I would watch
Yeah.
multiple times. Like
Agreed.
twice was probably enough for me.
Yeah.
You
this
and
is
your
a
mom
movie
should
to
watch this, Cam.
reference.
I don't know
Watch
about
it in your
that.
gray room.
In the gray
My
room.
gray room.
Oh my gosh. We were talking to Cam. We missed the gray room. He has a room and it's all gray. The couch is gray.
Looks like he's in
the
a gray
walls are
world.
gray, the tables are gray.
Yeah, I looked like I was black and white.
No, that
Yeah.
was good. That was
was so
good.
good.
'Cause you were wearing like a blue shirt or something, or like a red
Yeah, I
shirt.
was-
You stood out.
White couch.
That was awesome. Yeah.
And the lighting just made me look all monochrome.
Luke, why you gotta be
Weird.
such a dick?
Yeah, no, that was good. That was good. All right. All right. What about you guys? What do you think? Recommend or no?
I would say one and done for sure, but I like enough
Yeah.
to be able to reference it, and when you're talking with your artsy friends, like yeah,
There you go. Flex
Yeah.
on 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah. You too, Sin.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend it. It's not the worst movie ever, but go into it understanding that you're walking into something that's going to have a bit of comedy to it, lighthearted goofiness going on. So, which I didn't, like I said, I didn't know when I watched it the first time, and I was like, well, I didn't know it was going to be comedic.
I'd say for me, I don't recommend. Don't watch this.
Oh,
I think you know what. You remember the clips. Great, watch the clips. You just don't. There's just things in life you don't need to see,
what a dick.
and
This is the
it's just not
first-
good enough. It's just not good
Nice,
enough for
Luke.
me.
I
You
threw
know,
it in
no,
there.
no disrespect to anybody that loves this. I get it. I think just watch Army of
Seriously?
Darkness. It'll crave that itch you have. Watch Army of Darkness. That's a good one. Watch Beetlejuice. Yeah, just maybe take a pass on this one. That's
Bro,
the
it's just-
brawler. The brawler. Thumbs
Yeah.
down.
Is this the first movie that you've not recommended on your own stream?
Oh, definitely.
You think
Yeah,
so?
I've never
No,
heard
I'm
you
being
have a reaction to this
sarcastic. No.
before.
No, I've definitely not recommended movies.
Early
don't-
on, a
None
lot.
early on, yeah. Before I had like full panels, like when Luke and I would go on.
which ones?
I don't remember.
Like every early.
let me look real quick before we finish. I'll look at my channel and see if I can.
The
see
Abyss
which
being one of
ones.
them.
Wait, the what? Oh
The
yeah, the
Abyss.
Abyss. That was one of them. That's right. Yeah, I didn't recommend the Abyss. That was a little too
Snow
boring
White.
for me.
I was
Snow White. Yeah,
Snow
no,
White
of
for
course.
sure.
That's a new one. Let's see. I'm looking at the list here.
Did you not recommend Fifth Element because you didn't like that?
Oh
one?
no, did not recommend Fifth Element. You're right. That's the most recent one.
I know he has some hot takes.
How
I
is that
don't
possible?
recommend Cabin in the Woods. I don't recommend.
That's
Oh, come on, that was
crazy.
Deuce,
That's
bro.
crazy talk.
Yeah.
It's like one of the
Yeah.
first meta movies. Jeez.
Well, yes. I guess a lot of it. I don't even know. I'd have to watch it again to tell you. Watch the stream, everybody, if you want to. I wasn't hating on it. It's all right. It's all right. If
Well, I
I'm gonna
wanna watch
watch
it.
something
So
now,
if
there's
something
so
is-
much.
If
There is
something's
so
all
much to
right,
see.
it has to be a recommend at least. No, like it's all right.
Yeah, I'm not going to recommend something if it's all right because you know what?
Really?
We have
Okay.
so much great movies to see, thankfully, because we're new to a lot of cult classics. That it's like you can't. There's so many things you can miss because they're all right. They're all right. They're all right. Because there's so many great films, great movies. Next week, a movie we're going to be talking about is Forbidden Planet. I've heard a lot of great things about that. I don't know if it's great, but I've heard just immaculate thumbs ups.
We'll have to see
So
if
we're
that's
going to be talking
recommended.
about Forbidden Planet next week. I'm not sure if it's going to be 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. I'm liking 9 p.m. Starting
Do
to
I like 9
it
p.m.
8 o'clock.
I like 9. I would do 9, but it's like I don't have very much time to prep if it's 9. That's the only problem. So
9
we'll
makes
see.
it easier for people on the East Coast. I'll say that.
I know. Well, I'm on the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
So,
So,
yeah, I
it's
know.
a young
Much-
thing. I
much
value my
easier.
sleep a
No,
lot. So.
Same.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I know it gets late. I think of all
It's
of all
okay.
the streams, I'm looking down here. There isn't any others. Those are the only few that I don't recommend for
Hmm.
my
You know why
lives.
Vegas non-recommended is? It's like my least favorite one we done is Signs.
Oh,
Have you seen-
oh,
No, I'm
bro,
kidding. I'm just trying.
you bastard.
I just love working Jackson up.
No, I think of all the movies we've watched in our 44 episodes, my favorite has probably been Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Watching that for the first time.
Hmm.
Mine's
That was probably my
Once
number
Upon a
one.
Time in Hollywood.
It's a good
That's
one.
a great one.
That was a
yeah.
good one.
That was
Yeah,
our
those were good streams.
second stream.
Yeah,
Nice.
Oh,
that
wow.
was a good one.
There we go.
Rebel Rose. I swear you have something against werewolf movies. Oh, nah.
Watchdog Soldiers.
Hey, I like Van Helsing. Van Helsing's great. We had a lot of fun.
Underworld. Underworld.
Underworld. That's a
yeah.
good one to talk about. You're
Love
right.
Underworld.
They
Yeah,
were
that's a
all
good one.
really good.
that's a fun. Well, no, not all of them, but the
Well, they
first
were
one.
fun though.
What's
Oh, they
the
got-
what's the actress Mila
No,
Djokovic?
Kate Beckinsale.
Oh,
No, Kate Beckinsale was in Underworld.
Oh,
Yeah.
what did she do? What did Mila? She did the
She
Resident
did
Evil.
Resident Evil
that's-
and
Oh.
The
other
Fifth
stuff, yeah.
Element.
The
And
Fifth
I
Element,
remember
yeah.
her in that.
Mhm.
She was definitely memorable in that.
Yeah,
Definitely
she
say
was.
that. Definitely memorable. Oh gosh, Fifth Element. No hate against. You know what? If you like Fifth Element, great for
Fifth
you.
Element was more fun than this film for me.
Hey,
Mm.
yeah.
So.
I can see
Yeah, good idea talking about Underworld though. We'll have to talk about that at some point.
That's a
But-
cool one.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of mixed responses here. Brawler says no. Everybody else says yes. That's usually how it goes. I just want to thank you all. Thank you all for watching us today. We appreciate your viewership. If you liked what we had to say, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and check out everybody else's channels. We got links in the description below. We'd really appreciate if you went to these guys' channels, give them a sub, and check out their content. It's always a pleasure having you guys on. There's a good panel, and we missed you, Sin. It's been I can't remember the last time we had you on it.
Master, no, Fifth
Wow.
Element. Before
Oh, it
that
was
was
Fifth
Master and
Element.
Commander. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay,
okay.
all right. So it wasn't that long ago. And
No,
Megan,
not
we had you
terribly long.
on
White Christmas.
White Christmas. That was a
Wow.
fun one. Yes. If you're feeling like you're in the Christmas spirit, you could check that out. And you could also see her on Kyle's channel, Kyle Corwith, our friend, and Cam. He's doing a bang up job on the YouTube Shorts and cinematic news on his Instagram. And World War Joe, he's having a lot of fun. He's having some success with his YouTube Shorts as well. So be sure to check out everybody. And we appreciate you guys as always. Never forget, give him the Duke and give him the dog. We'll see you next Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Everyone.
What kind of person are you? Are you the kind that sees signs, sees miracles? Or do you believe that people just get lucky?